tackled Dylan Cook and linebacker Marcus
Stranger
Wellnell.
House.
Big Sky Player of the Week, Marcus Wellnell. Montana coming off a 13-7 win over Washington. We'll start with some opening thoughts from Coach on that game and then looking ahead to this week versus Western Illinois. And then we'll open it up to questions. And I've got a mic here for questions, so please raise your hand and I'll get the mic in front of you so folks at home can hear. With that, Coach, your thoughts on one of the biggest upsets in Montana history, certainly, but a great win over Washington.
Obviously, we're real pleased with the win over Washington. It's a huge win. It's recognized nationally as a huge win. So I'm very pleased for Montana. You know, it was good in a lot of ways. You know, we're into the season. We've got a ton of things we need to work on. We've got to be more consistent on offense. Got to be better in third down. We got to finish drives in the end zone. We've got to tighten our man coverage down. We left some yards out there in the kicking game and in the return game. So there's things we have to do and have to do better, and that's what this week's going to be about, improvement and getting ready for a good Leatherneck team who's coming in here. In regard to them, they had a real battle in a game with Ball State, who was picked. We're familiar with them. They were picked to win the MAC. They absolutely drilled San Jose State in their bowl game last year. So that's a good football team, and it was a good game. Western's offense can light it up. They have great skill players, in my opinion. They threw for a bunch of yards, and then we're well aware that they beat us the last time we played, and that was a major downer and disappointment that season, 2 seasons ago for us. So very skilled team, well coached. They know what they're doing. They play hard, and we need a good week of work to get ready for our home opener.
With that, questions?
Coach, when you're going back at the film of the Washington game, what really stood out to you and what were you most impressed with what you guys did?
Well, we knew going into the game we were going to have to play good run defense to win the game, and we did that. So I thought that our rush defense, I don't know what they had, 2.4 yards a carry or something, and that was a big deal. The fact that we held them to 7 and kept them scoreless for 55-plus minutes of the game was impressive. I mean, that's something people don't do in modern college football very much. So that was a great effort. And the other thing is just the way our team came together, and it was a complete and total team effort to get that win.
Coach,
What's up, stranger?
Hi, nice to see you.
Good to see you, Ryan.
You've been building to this season and that game for almost 2 years now, waiting for this. What does winning at the performance that your team had do in terms of solidifying the message that you and your coaching staff have been sending to these guys about what it takes to be good, what it takes to be great, that now they've seen that happen?
Well, I don't think there's a bunch of doubt, first of all, with our team on what we're telling them. So, I don't know that is – I don't know how to answer it. It's a good question, okay? I'm not answering it very well. I think our guys believe what we're telling them, but tangible evidence that is the way it is probably really productive. So, yeah, it's great to go get that win. And I don't think we had doubt before that game. We played pretty well this spring, and 2019 season was good, but there's no – I didn't think there were doubters going into the game. There certainly isn't now.
Gonna reach. I have a little question about running back depth. A couple weeks ago, I did a story on it, and Junior Bergen his name didn't come up. So could you take me a little bit through that chronology of how you had to move him over or adjust?
Yeah, I mean, practice. If you go back to training camp, practices are. And those weeks are pretty long and hard. And, in this case, it was the running backs, but at any position, You got to have guys. We're practicing against each other. You have to have guys to practice against as well. We're not on scout teams, and when you get different positions that get nicked up during training camp or spring ball, sometimes you give guys work at different positions, and just turned out that's the way it went for last Saturday. And Junior's a guy that's very talented and capable to do a lot of things, and carrying the ball is one of his strengths.
Coach, you guys obviously went really hard in fall camp. I think in today's age, I think coaches are even going away from that as much. How much do you think going hard and being physical in training camp had you guys 100% ready to roll in week one, and then maybe any of the players too?
Yeah, I'll take it first, and then you guys can have at it. I think that you get on Saturdays what you practice, and there's no substitute for playing football to get better at it. So that's what we do. Go ahead. It's all yours.
I think it really helps us offensively. We go up against one of the best defenses in the country every single day, and the defense is loaded with some dogs, and that just makes our offensive line better, and it makes our offense better as a whole.
And I just second what Cook said. I mean, our offense is great too, so we go against them, and so it's the same thing here and there. But when you practice that hard, sometimes it makes games easier because they're not. Practice is so hard that games really aren't that much more physical than practice, so you get used to it.
Just to start with Dylan.
He's a little more boom in his mic. I can't say that, but I was thinking.
Hopefully the mic picked it up.
It's exactly what I was thinking.
I don't really know how to follow that up. So for Dylan, just offensively, you guys, obviously there were the struggles in the first half, but second half it got a little better, and it felt like you guys were kind of wearing Washington's defense down. Could you notice that, especially in that front five for you guys?
Yeah, we definitely noticed it, and that comes from being physical at practice. You can't just be physical for half the practice. The coaches will notice, and they'll call that out. So practicing hard and being physical all of practice is really what we take pride in, and that helped us when it comes to the fourth quarter. We know how to finish, and we can see when other teams, start to get on their heels, and that's when we really start to attack.
And then Marcus, just for you, we talked about obviously in the fall camp, you got the 2 starts in the spring working under Dante. I mean, how much did that work help you getting prepared for not just the spring games, but this game to have the performance you did against Washington?
Just watching Dante play, like I told you in fall camp, he's a great athlete. He plays. It's just how hard Dante plays, and just to get my time, getting games every now and then, just learn the speed of college football really helped. So just playing behind him was great.
Just for both you guys, now that it's had a chance to soak it in a little bit more, just how would you experience, describe the experience of winning that game and what you've maybe just kind of seen nationally, the Grizz being talked about, and just what all that's like?
That was definitely one of the coolest experiences of my life, winning that game and seeing the Grizz in the media all weekend long. It's cool. It's good for the Grizz to be back like that. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. It was a pretty good feeling, but the feeling around the locker room now is just on to week 2, on to Western Illinois.
Good. I haven't been in there, so it's good.
Bobby, it wasn't that long ago I was up in Havre watching a Northern game, and this guy was in for a series at quarterback. Can you talk a little bit about how Dylan showed up on your doorstep, or how it all worked out?
Yeah, I can a little bit. It's a unique transition, from quarterback to offensive line, and at the collegiate level. We had a guy at UNLV, Brett Boyko, that ended up playing the NFL and is currently in the CFL, that was a high school quarterback in Canada that we recruited as an offensive lineman. Dylan came and was interested in walking on to the program, and we took one look at him, and I don't know, you were probably thinking tight end or defensive end or something. I took one look at him and said, that guy's a tackle, let's go. And it really comes down to the individual having the toughness and the want to get big and strong and play in the trenches, because he certainly has the ability and the frame and all that, but it takes the personality and the want to, and he's got that.
Bobby, you said you wanted to see more consistency on offense? What does offensive consistency mean to you? What is it you want to see?
Yeah, you have to control the game with your run game. You have to move the chains on third down. I think specifically to this past game, we weren't good enough in third and fourth down, and we need to fix that. We were dang good in those situations in the spring. I mean, maybe as good as can be. So it's got to be better. Got to control the field and the chains with controlled passing game as well. And then, again, it comes back to generating first downs. Fewer 3-and-outs.
For both players, you haven't run out of the tunnel to a packed crowd in a couple years. How excited are you for that chance on Saturday?
I'm super excited. I can't wait to see Wild Grizz going crazy at 6 o'clock kickoff. Fans got enough time to warm up for that one, so it should be crazy coming out of that tunnel.
Yeah, I seriously can't wait. Just get chills thinking about it. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. We're ready to go, ready to give them a show.
Coach, you touched on the offense that Western Illinois brings to the table. Coach Elliott's a former quarterback himself. They got a senior quarterback, great senior wide receiver. Is that your main game plan defensively to prepare for that, and what do you expect out of them in that pass game?
Yeah, we were just talking about that upstairs a little bit. It's not just passing game. I think they're going to be insistent on getting the run going, even though they threw for 400 yards on Ball State last week. I think they'll be insistent on trying to be balanced and get the run game going. I mean, that's what they want to be. Whether they can be or not, we'll see. But I think that's what they want to be, and we need to be ready to stop what they give us.
Is there something or someone that they do defensively that stands out?
Well, they don't want to let you run the ball. I mean, that's their thing. I think they're good tacklers. I think they got everybody with their eyes in the core of it. They challenge you. They play a lot of man coverage, and they want to challenge you. So you have to win against man, and you have to make some plays. And going back to the question that Frank asked, those all make it hard to do what I want out of our offense this week. So we've got to have a big week and good prep, and then we got to go execute.
Bobby, so the Big Sky Conference had 3 wins over FBS teams this week, and I think 5 teams are now in the top 15. Just what does that say about where the conference is at right now to start the season, and just the talent that's in this conference right now?
Yeah, I hadn't seen the poll, but obviously texted with those coaches that won those games on Thursday. I think our league's good, yeah.
Bobby, to follow up, I mean, talking with other coaches, I'm sure your phone must have been blowing up after Saturday. I mean, who all reached out to you, and how cool was that?
Well, yeah, the who all would take too long, so it was awesome. I mean, it was just wild. It was fun to hear from everybody, and it seemed like about everybody, so that was good.
For both the players, you already talked about, hey, we're moving on to week 2 already, but also everybody understands how special that week 1 win was. How do you reset with your mentality to be sure that you are ready to go, have the bravado of being really good, but also know that you can't just win showing up coming into this Saturday?
I think it starts with just getting right back into the routine of it. We lifted this morning, same lift as last week. We'll get out on the field a little bit today, and tomorrow we'll put the pads on and start hitting again. So just staying in the routine of it will really help us refocus our minds.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to start watching film today on Western Illinois. So, I mean, you just got to switch your mind. I mean, we enjoyed it Saturday night for sure, a little bit Sunday, but now it's time to move on to the next week, and you got to do that all season long.
Anybody else? Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And ladies.
Yeah.